Hello, this is Adam Neary for Playhouse 22. Today I'm here with the cast and the director of the production, The Niceties, which is now playing at Playhouse 22, opening November 11th and running through the 19th. I'm going to allow each one of the cast members to introduce themselves, starting with our director, Uchenna.
Right. My name is Uchenna Agbu, and I'm the director of The Niceties.
Rachel?
My name's Rachel. I'm playing Zoe in The Niceties.
Elena Abdou, and I am playing Janine Bosco in The Niceties.
Uchenna, tell me about Niceties. What's it about?
So The Niceties is basically one big, long conversation between a professor and her student at an elite college in the Northeast. It really is a debate talking about race, politics, and revolutions and what the consequences of history have on our present-day lives.
Why do you want to direct this show?
The main reason I wanted to direct the show, I think, is because I first saw it at Miles Square Theater, and I just thought about how much of a challenge it would be to take it on as a director and how much of a challenge it would be for the actors to take it on, because when you read the play at first, it's kind of just a very static, like they are sitting at a desk talking to each other for an hour and 45 minutes. So when I first saw it and saw how much it moved me, it made me really curious to know what else could be done with it and how it would be to work on it.
Now tell us what makes this production unique for Playhouse 22, its setting and the show in itself.
I think something really unique about being in a black box setting, for one, like we're on a stage, the audience is on the stage, everyone is here together, which makes it really intimate, and it puts you in the room with the people who are performing this story. And it takes down the wall of like feeling like you're watching people on stage performing because you're right there with them doing it.
Now, Rachel and Elena, asking the same questions. Tell me about your character. Who do you play?
So I play Zoe. She is a 20-year-old college student, a very elite Ivy League-giving school. And she's very stubborn. She sticks by her opinions. She does not take a lot from anybody. She is going to stick behind what she says, no matter what.
Elena, same question.
Play Janine Bosco. She's a history professor at this same elite college in the Northeast. Janine is a contradiction. She has this love of history and a love for teaching, and she wants everybody to be as excited about history as she is. But when push comes to shove and she gets backed into a corner, she tends to stand on issues that she normally wouldn't have. She wouldn't fight about them.
Explain the decisions you made for each one of your characters that led you to where we are now.
Well, one of the things that I feel about her is that she actually is a very warm person, but when she puts on that professor hat, it's all business. It's like, okay, we do this, and then we do this, and then we do this. So to find that balance between the warmth, so you see something so that when she says something that may or may not be obnoxious, you can see her point of view.
All right. Rachel, same question.
Yeah, I feel like I wanted to focus on Zoe's like emotional side. I think she's extremely emotional, extremely like everything. She feels everything very deeply, but you really would not see that if you just kind of looked at the surface of it. I think that really drives a lot of what she does in the show. And there's like no tears in the play. I believe that's like written in the beginning. There's no tears. It's a very emotional piece, but people don't cry. So she uses like hard facts and like kind of a hard exterior to kind of shield that. But I think behind that is a lot of emotion. So I really wanted to make the choice to always be aware of that, but also really like be very factual in what I'm saying.
Uchenna, when you directed the show, what type of notes you wanted to give to the characters? What did you want them to try to achieve?
I think the most important thing that I wanted them to achieve was getting across the fact that both of these characters are human. I think one of the most important aspects of this show is the humanity of both of the women in it. And I think it can easily be taken as this side and this side, but I think the most important thing at the end of the day is they are human and they have opinions and they have experiences that they can share with each other. But it's going to take a lot to uncover that. So I think that was my goal when I was directing.
Rachel, how much of Zoe is you and how much you are not Zoe?
I would say I see like a lot of myself in her, and just the way that she reacts to issues and takes them on as if it's happening to her, which is pretty unhealthy. But I also do think a lot of it is very opposite of me. Like she's very sure of herself, Zoe. Can't say the same, but like I don't know. I try to be, but Zoe is, and she always will be. And even through like the hardship she goes through in the show, she's always sure of herself. She can always count on herself. And, of course, Zoe has some troubling, she says some troubling things in the show. So some of those things I can't relate to, but I still try to like take it on as I'm playing it.
Elena, same question. How much of Janine is you and how much you are not Janine?
Actually, a lot of Janine is me. I'm currently working as a professor in Middlesex College, not teaching history though. But finding that balance between her humanity and her expertise is sometimes a juggling ball. And I think that she's not so stuck in as some of the lines make you believe she is. She is really listening and taking it in, and she does try to compromise. It's when she's personally attacked that the anger comes out, and that's me. It's a long fuse, but when it blows, you better be careful. And the other thing about her is I don't agree with her stance, most of them. At least some of the things she says. I don't want to spoil the show, but I've had trouble memorizing the lines where she says something that's I feel is patently obnoxious or untrue, and that's been a challenge.
And this piece is portrayed as a very politically charged piece. Question just across the board, I would say, is this more politically charged, culturally charged, or a mix? I mean, this is a question for the three of you guys. I'll start with you, Uchenna. You want to go first?
I think it could definitely be seen as politically charged, but I think at the end of the day, again, it comes back to the idea of humanity. And I think people see a lot of human rights issues as political issues when they're not, because human rights issues are always going to exist no matter of how you identify politically and who you are, it's human at the end of the day. So I would say, even though there is talk of politics and race and things like that, I wouldn't say it's necessarily political.
Hey, you guys want to chime in there?
For me, it's really emotional. Mm-hmm. It's getting to the core of what we believe we are as humans, what we believe in as patriotism, what we believe in as caring for another human being. And the fact remains that a lot of times we don't listen to each other. And that's when the divide starts to happen. It's not because somebody's on this side and somebody's on that side. It's because we're not listening to each other and not taking into account what the other person is saying or feeling. So for me, it's really emotionally charged, because no matter what your political beliefs are, as Uchenna said, it comes right back down to what humanity needs to do to continue. Yeah.
What? Anything else?
Yeah, I guess I would agree, very emotionally charged. And I think it's also like culturally driven as well. Like I think politics and culture are so intertwined right now. So like seeing this show, I don't know if you could see the politics and you could also see the culture of like very like black and white thinking, but also like this show forces you to see a gray area because these people are on pretty different sides, but it forces you to like kind of look between and see like what is really at the heart of this. So I'd say culture also is a big part of this.
And then just wrap up, what do you want the audience to get out of this? I'll start off with Uchenna and go right down the line.
I think most importantly, I want people to understand the importance of nuance. Like back to what Rachel was just saying, understanding that there is a gray area and not everything is so black and white. And sometimes maybe we need to learn to live in the gray.
I just hope that people come out of it like listening to each other a lot more and not trying to step over each other, not trying to be right, but trying to be good.
In addition to living in the gray area and listening to each other, I think I want the audience to feel like they can't take a side, that we're both right and we're both wrong, and that you have to figure out where you as a human are, whether you're Christian, Muslim, in whatever. And it points to a lot of things in the recent past, things surprisingly that have happened recently have a nod in this. I don't think the playwright intended, but everything keeps coming full circle. And there's that old saying, those who do not know history are doomed to repeat it. And I think that starts to happen in this play, that even though we are on opposite sides, we're still keeping those sides going when they don't need to be. Yeah.
Thank you, guys. I just want to wrap up. The Niceties here at Playhouse 22 is playing November 11th to the 19th. Shows are Friday and Saturday at 8 p.m., Sundays at 2 p.m. Once again, guests will come to Playhouse 22 and see the show in a completely different setting. Tickets are available at playhouse22.org or our box office at 732-254-3939.